Hello, welcome to this tutorial. This is Mr. Aguilar. So in this video, we're going to look at two-point perspective. We're just going to do a quick exercise. These quick exercises are just meant to show the fundamentals of how you use your vanishing points and how you approach it. So these are very, very basic on purpose. So what I have is I have a horizon line in the middle, and I have two vanishing points. So vanishing point number one, vanishing point number two, and then I have my horizon line, which I have as a gray. Then I have three lines down the middle. So this is how we're going to start our exercise. So we have one line above, one line in the middle of the horizon line or dividing the horizon line, and one line below. And this is going to what we're going to use to create three different cubes above, at, and below the horizon line. So I'm using Illustrator to show this because I can color code it. I can go back, and if someone misses a step in class, I just go backwards to show them the step. So one thing to keep in mind, all my guidelines are going to be colored. So any colored lines are meant to be guidelines, and all guidelines are drawn lightly. So if you want to draw a guideline super light, when you have your pencil, you just make sure you're holding your pencil in the back. This will give you a light guideline. This will give you a medium darkness, and this will give you a really dark line. So all our guidelines, we want to be back here while we're holding the pencil. And I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see. And then I'll be going back and forth over to my panel. It's a little bit different to do it in Illustrator than it is to do it on paper. Doing this by paper is actually a lot easier. But I can shade and render faster than this, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go top and bottom of each line to our vanishing point on our left and our vanishing point on our right. So I have my guideline set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to lock this layer real fast, and I'm going to go to the top and bottom of each line and to the vanishing point. One thing you want to do is you want to be accurate. If you're not accurate, it's going to be slightly off. So you always want to make sure that you are accurate. So there's my first one. I'm going to go, and I'm just going to do the same thing to all three lines. So again, top to bottom. This first step's really easy. I will render some of the boxes. I'm not going to render all of them just for the sake of time. And then we're going to go down and we're going to do the bottom one. And again, I like doing this because it's repetition, and repetition's really going to be how you learn. If you like this, you know, there are plenty of books out there. I can suggest a few books that are really, really good for perspective, but you kind of got to just look at the books in the art section and see which one works for you. So you're always looking for books on perspective. If I have the time, I will throw up a few links in the video, and those will direct you to some what I think are pretty good perspective books. Some of my best ones, though, they're not in publication anymore. So that's the sad part for that. So now that we have this, okay, what we want to do is we want to create three parallel lines going right down. So you would take your ruler. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to unlock this. I'm going to lock these guys up. So if I had a ruler, so let's say this is my ruler. Let's put a color in here real fast. You guys are used to like these little brown rulers. So let's say this is my ruler right here. What you want to do is you just want to line your ruler up, and you're just going to draw your three lines straight down, okay? So that's what you would normally do with that ruler. I'm going to label this ruler. So if I need it again, I can show you again. So let me take this off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create three new black lines, and I'm going to have those go straight down in order. So there's going to be my first one, okay? I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to go to my next one. Now in Illustrator, I can easily line this up. Again, with a ruler, you just line the ruler up and you just play connect the dots, so it's not that hard. And you're just going to be connecting both of these guidelines. So again, make sure that you're accurate. If you're a little bit off, either extend the line or erase the part that you're off. And we're going to do the exact same thing to this side. So again, if I had my ruler, I would take this and I just line it up over here, and then I would draw 1, 2, and 3. So let me take that off so you can see it. So again, I'm just picking a point. So there's my first one. And gotta get it so it's like this. Okay, so there's my first one. Here goes my second one. Illustrator does help me out. It's a lot better than it was before. Before I didn't have all of these guides to help, but now I do. And just go right down. So I like using Illustrator to teach perspective simply for the fact that I can click on and off, like what's the last thing I did, you know, I can just click on and off of that and you guys can see, and then I can show you like the guides and click those off, so it's really easy to show. So what we're going to do now is we're going to play connect the dots. So we want to connect all our sides, so we know that these are all going to connect. Again, our black lines are going to be our dark lines, our colored lines, our guidelines, and those are going to be light. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play connect the dots. Come up here, and this is what you would do with your ruler. Always use a ruler. I have no idea why people don't use rulers. It's annoying. Use your ruler. It's much easier. You have a much nicer project. And if you're in my class, you won't get points deducted. Now this next one, the middle one's technically going to be done, because you cannot see the top and you cannot see the bottom. And that's what happens when you divide the horizon line. So the horizon line's right in the middle. So part of it's above, part of it's below, so you're not going to see anything. What we have to do is we have to put the bottom in, and we're going to have to put the top in. So let's finish connecting these. And again, I will show you how to render some of these. I'll put a value scale in here. But I'm not going to waste a lot of time with the videos doing that. So now that I have those done, okay, what I need to do is I need to figure out where's this point here and where's this point there. So I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to use, for my guidelines, I'm going to pick a different color. I'm going to go with this yellow-orange, so you can see it clearly. And let's see, I don't think I want to zoom in. I think this is fine. So hopefully you can see this on the video. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the opposite side. So we're always going to be going to the opposite side. Let me make sure I'm in my guides. So I'm going to go from my left vanishing point to the right corner. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from my right vanishing point to my left corner. And you can see where those lines crisscross. There is my point. And I'm going to do the exact same thing down here below. So I'm going to go from my vanishing point on the left to my corner on the right. And vice versa. I'm going to go from the right to the left. Okay. So once I have that, that tells me where I can put my bottom of this cube and the top of this cube. So again, these lines are going to be black. And I'm basically just playing connect the dots. That's it. That's all I'm doing, playing connect the dots. And I'm going to go down here and do the same. Again, this one's already done. Okay, so now that I have my 3 boxes, I can start looking at putting more boxes back into space, and I can keep going back in space. And this is where I lose people. So I'm going to try to make this as plain as possible. I'm going to start adding a little bit of value to just try to help me out, so you can understand this a little bit easier. But this is where I tend to lose people. Okay, so I'm going to say that my light source, I'm going to put my light source up here. I'm going to put it above. I'm going to put it out of the picture plane. Just going to put it right there. Going to make that smaller. Okay, so this is where I'm saying my light source is going to be from. And I'm going to color code this just to make it easy on you guys. Okay, so there's my light source. That means this side's going to be lighter, this side's going to be darker, this is going to be the darkest value, this will be one of the brightest values. Lock that in. So I want this to be a light value, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this into a light gray. I'm going to keep this all grayscale so you can see it easily. And I am just going to fill this in. And I'm going to try to explain what we're doing using this, because this is where I lose people. Okay, so I'm just going to do all three of these real fast. And you can already see where it's starting to look more three-dimensional when you add value. Alright, so there's my three boxes, okay? Now, what I want to do is I want to create three more cubes going back in space to the right. And the important thing to understand is these two guides right here, these two guides right here, and these two guides right here represent the plane that this side's on. So when we come through here, okay, I want to draw three new ones, and this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be drawing this side again. Okay, so this is this side going back, and we'll do the same thing to here and here. So what I'm going to do is let me do one more just so you guys can see it. So again, I'm going to line this up. Okay, so hopefully you guys get the gist of that so you can see how these are. Let me lock these in place. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my dark box, okay? So let me get this. And I'm going to come over here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to call this boxes or cubes, whatever you want. And I'm going to put RT for right. So these are the ones going to be on the right hand side, okay? So let's draw our shape in. Okay. So what I want you to do, okay, this is what I want you to do. And I'm going to go back into, let's see, where did I put the ruler at? Okay, so I want to go right back into here. So what you're going to do is you're going to line this up, and you're going to draw three lines straight down. Then you're going to move the ruler over, and you're going to draw three lines straight down. Okay, so when you do that, that's going to give you this side, and this side. So you're taking this side, and this side, and you're repeating it in the back. So this again, you'll take your ruler, you line it up, doesn't matter where, and you're going to go 1, 2, and 3, and we're connecting the blue guidelines, okay? We're connecting the blue guidelines. So let's see, what does that look like when we're doing that? In fact, I'm going to take my ruler, since I'm working on a new layer, this way I don't lose it or have to go find it. It's just right here. Okay, I'm going to show you again. So let me make sure I have this. Okay, so again, basically what you're doing is you're going to draw 3 straight lines down, just like that. Okay, and again, let me do this again because it apparently did not happen. So there's one line, and then again I'm going to do another line. And again, remember, we're only doing the blue lines, okay? And then what you do is you line up and you do your other 3 lines. So I'll show you what that looks like. So there's that one. Make sure that's locked up, okay. Dun, dun. Okay, and then I'm going to come below and I'm going to do the same thing. So this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so you're going to have those 3 lines and 3 lines, and then you're just going to connect them. So I'm going to connect these to show you how I'm doing this. And you can see our value and how they're aligned. Come up here and do this. I'm not quite sure why I lose so many people, but I do. Again, this side, we're recreating this one side over here, here, and here. Now, the next side I want to get is this side. So I want to get this side, and this side. So this side is on these 2 lines, okay? But this one's farther back in space. So all I need to do is connect from here to my vanishing point. So let me lock this up real fast so you guys can see it. I'm going to have a random things. Let me delete that. Okay. So let me lock this up. I'm going to go back into my guides. So I need to create 2 new guides. So I'm going to use pink or magenta so you guys can see it. Let's see. I need to... And let's make you magenta again. Okay. So in order to get these 2 sides, this side right here, this side, and this side, I need to go back to my vanishing point on the left. These are already going to my vanishing point on the right. So I'm simply going to go from the top down to my vanishing point and right here. Okay, and then what I need to do is I also need to go to this bottom corner. Okay, so right now this is going to be that side, so I'm going to go to the bottom corner. So we're going to go from this one here. Here's the fundamental rule with 2-point perspective. All your lines going to the right or to the left have to go to a vanishing point. So all your lines going to the left, go to the left vanishing points. All your lines going to the right, go to the right vanishing points. All your rights going up and down simply go perfectly up and down. So here you can see where I have my 3rd point. So this point right here is this one. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to make sure that these are locked. I'm going to click on this so I can have that. And this is what I'm doing. Right now, I'm going to do this line right here. So that line is here. This is the bottom point, and it goes up to here. Okay. Now, it goes up to there because this is going to overlap so you can't see it. So it's important to understand that. So now I need to draw this line and this line. Okay. So I'll come up here, and I'm going to draw it right to there. Okay, so that line is this line right here. Then I need to draw the bottom. So here's the bottom. And you can see that I have this little square shape, this diamond shape, same as I have down here. I can just connect it, or I can, so I can make it into one shape, or I can just leave it the way it is. I'm going to leave it that way. and then I will simply draw these two lines. Okay. Again, it seems like you might say it's easy to do it with the computer. It's actually much faster and easier to do by hand. So now I have this box recreated over here. When I add the values, you'll see that a lot of the guidelines will disappear because the values will cover it up. But right now I want you to be able to see through the object so you can see where everything goes. So what I like to do is I'm going to draw my guidelines from this one right here back to here. I'm going to use the same magenta because I don't want you guys getting confused. And I'm just going to go from the top of this to my left vanishing point. Remember, it's already going to my right vanishing point. Okay, and I put that on the wrong layer. So let's get you down here to guides. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I got one. Remember, all these points are going to the ones to the right. They need to go to the left. So I'm drawing my guidelines. Quick reminder, all guidelines are light. Do not draw them dark. And then I got one more point. And this ends up being a lot, so I'm not going to render everything. I will render some of this just to show you. But again, I want to keep the video fairly short, and I think I'm already going a little bit long into it. So I'm going to speed up the process a little bit. Now, here's the thing. The back of this corner, let's go to the bottom of this so you can see what I'm talking about. Make sure I'm in the right layer. So I'm going into my boxes on the right. So I'm going to start darkening these in so you can see it. I'm going to play connect, the dots. Okay. And then I need to connect this one down here. Again, it's going to collide with this, so I want to make sure that I don't, and I forgot to lock that guide. So I want to make sure that it just hits, because I don't want it to go through there, okay? And then that means this one's going to come down and it's going to hit. So there's my boxes, and this can actually get moved over just a little bit. All right, so you can see how this box is overlapping that one, this box is overlapping that. So that's why these lines have to hit. Since these are all in the same plane and they're going back in the same distance, if these are hitting, or these are being overlapped by here, that means this one's going to overlap this. So you're not going to see the back line. So we can just darken in these two lines. So I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to come here. And I'm going to lock all these shapes up. So again, so now I have all these boxes on the right done. And we can do the exact same thing over here on the left. So I'm going to collapse this real fast. I'm going to go into my values. Now my light source is up here. So that means these values are going to be darker than this, but this is going to be my darkest value. So what I want to do is I want to create a value that's kind of in between, something that's dark but not too dark. And then I'll just see what it looks like on the first one. So this side, right? So there we go. That looks pretty good. I like that. So this is these sides right here. So 1, 2, 3. And again, this is the one aspect that's easier in Illustrator. I can go much faster. And we're going to go straight up. So these are the left-hand side, the left-facing side of our cubes. That also means that these are our left facing cubes. So these are going to be the same. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to come in here. Yep, and I screwed up. So let's get where I screwed up at. And because these are being covered, I can simply draw that because that's going to be covered up. All I have to do is put it in the back, and you can see it disappears. Okay, so you can see how that's overlapping. Now you can see it through the bottom because I have not done the bottom value yet. So I'm going to come over here, do the same to here, bring that up. And this is what I'm talking about. This is the side that lines up here. You can't see it because it's being covered. So as soon as I do this, you can see how it's being covered, all right? So that's basically what you are doing. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Going to bring this down, bring it into here so you can see it. Right, so it's the same principle. I need this to go up. Oops, excuse me. Okay, so that's lined up, and then I just drop it behind everything else. The one advantage of shading by hand is you don't have to do this. So again, you can see through it a bit because we have not done the top. So I know the top's going to be my lightest value because the sun's coming down. So if I go in here real fast and put a light value in, let's pick a lighter value. So let's go with this one. We'll see how light this one is, and you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so now you cannot see. I want this to be a little bit lighter. Okay. So now you can't see that coming through, right? Because it's covering it up. So that's fine. And then I know that this is going to be my darkest value up here, so I can do the same thing. I can say I'm just going to go with a darker value, pick that. And I want to show you just enough to where you get this. Okay, and here we go. And like I said, I'm not going to render everything for the video because it'll just take too much time. So now you can't see that going through. So I have my bottom value, so this one would be the same. I have my top value, so this one would be the same. All three of these sides should be the same. All of these sides, so there's 6 sides, they should all be the same. And it looks like I left one out. So let's finish that guy up real fast before I forget. Let's come in here. All right, so that one, you can see how that looks. Okay, so let's look at drawing our boxes over here on the right. So again, we want to see this color right here. We're going to draw our lines over here. I'm going to do it the different way. I'm going to do it the way that I told you loses some people, just so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to create a new thing called boxes left. And let's grab that ruler again. Lock the ruler. And let's bring the ruler up to that layer so you guys can see it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we simply take our ruler, find a spot, and then we're going to draw 1, 2, 3 lines, and we only want to connect the blue line. So you might be confused because of all the guides. So I'm going to take some of these guides off so you're not so confused. Okay, so what we want to do is connect just the blue lines. Running out of color options, I'm going to go with green. Hopefully that shows up so you guys can see it. Okay, so I'm going to draw my new guides. Actually, first I'm going to draw my black lines. So let me draw my black lines, and then hopefully that'll make it a little bit easier. Okay, so let's go over here. Let's go to our boxes. We're going to our boxes left, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3 lines. Okay. Then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to move it over, and then I'm going to draw 3 more boxes. Okay. So I'm going to draw 3 more lines, I should say. I'm sorry. 3 more lines. So I'm just going to have that over a little bit. Let me lock that up, and then I'm going to draw my new path lines. Again, like I said, this is where I lose people. So I did it one way on the right. I showed you the face first. This time I'm drawing the lines first, and then I'll leave the lines up so you guys can see it. And last one, let me take the ruler off so you can see that now. So these 2 sets of lines represent these 2. These 2 are these 2, these 2 are these 2. And when you start connecting everything, they're going to form that side. Okay, so now I have this side here. So I am going to have to find where it goes to this vanishing point on the right. Now if you look, 1, 2, 3, all of these are going to the left vanishing point. We already know that. So what I need to do now is I need to have them connect to the right vanishing point. So I'm going to pick another color. Again, we did pink going this way. I'm going to go with green going the other way. After I'm done, I'll bring up all the guides. Hopefully you guys will be able to see it, understand it. I got 1, 2, 3 corners that need to go to my right. I have 1, 2 that need to go to my right, and I have 1, 2, 3 that need to go to my right. I'm just going to do this super fast. I'm going to try to be as accurate as possible. And I wanted to lock these layers. Okay, so then again, come here. And again, you can see how these guides are below the value, so you're not going to see them go through the boxes anymore. Lock those up, and I got 1 more. Okay, and now you can see the boxes there. So you see the top, you see the bottom. This one's going to go straight up till it connects. This one goes straight down till it connects. So hopefully you guys can see, like, these are pretty logical now. It's fairly simple. Again, it's the same process that we're repeating. So I'm just going to go and play connect the dots, basically. Go right up to that point, and then come from here. Okay, and it's going to lock all of those. So that top one's done. The middle one is done. So again, you're looking above, or you're looking above, you're looking up underneath the cube, and here you're looking down on top. So I'm just going to do this one, and come across. I'm going to come from here and go to there. Okay, and then the last thing I need to do is simply drop this down. And for some reason, that did not go, so let me delete that. Straight down. Okay. Let me move this over just a smidge so you guys can see it. Okay. So now I have my three cubes. These are going back in space to the left. These are going back in space to the right. You can see that they're all on the same planes. The only thing I have left to do is to put in the values. So again, if I come in here to my values, I can simply draw those. I'm going to click on this, and I'll bring up the rest of the guide so you can kind of see how all of this looks together. Okay, and then I'll leave these ones blank simply because I want to save time. And I'm going to come over here. It's off a bit, sorry. For some reason this one's off just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so again, you can see these two bottoms are the same. These two tops are the same. All of these faces are the same. So that's giving you that three-dimensional. So this one right here should be that same color. So I can again go eyedrop, come in here, click that. I'm going to stop the video at this point. I think hopefully by now you understand what's going on. I'm going to bring in the other guides that I hid. And again, this is why I like doing this in Illustrator, because you guys can see it. So bring in my guides. These are the ones that I took off. And it does look confusing. Okay, it does look confusing. But once you understand it and you understand the purpose of your guides, it does make it easier. Guidelines, if you draw them light enough, you can erase them. Usually what we do, if we're doing something in 3 dimensions and we're using all our guides to put stuff in perspective, this is what we call our underdrawing. So this will have all the lines, right? And then you darken in all your major lines. And then what you do is you put another sheet of paper over that, and then you trace your structures, and then those are the ones that you're going to add details and textures to. So again, this is just the basic fundamentals, 2-point perspective. The video went a little long. I'm going to end it right now, but hopefully you guys get the gist of this. And until next time, this is Mr. Aguilar.